Discussing basketball has been a thing literally since its inception. Like since basketball first started, people has been talking about it on the internet as soon as they could. And in today's video, I'm gonna go back in time and look at some of the old NBA forums from back in the day, from 40, 30, and 20, and even 10, and you know what, even 5 years ago. With that being said, let's see what NBA fans were saying back in the day. Let's get right into it. Starting off with the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson era. Yes, there was NBA forums back then. Let's go look at it. Okay, so this first forum is from March 21st, 1986, from Pete Williamson. Celtics are serious, he says. At this moment, I think the Green is stronger than they have been since the Russell years. Certainly they are stronger than any time during the Bird era. Maybe I just think this is true because of what has happened to the Sixers, but I think an important indicator is their posture towards their competition both on and off the court. On the court, of course, they are demolishing other teams, in parentheses. Demolishing is not really the right term. The score differentials aren't always large, but the Celtics simply aren't losing many games. The games they have lost have been squeakers for the most part, and Boston generally has complete control of games from the outset. Incredibly, Larry Bird is having his greatest year ever. The bench is very strong and deep, and the Celts, apparently that's what they called them back in the day, the Celts. I thought it was the C's, but the Celts are playing at times as though the other teams aren't even there. Total disdain, a scary thing to watch. The only team that seems to be able to beat them is themselves, but off the court, Boston seems to be going out of their way not to infiltrate, humiliate their opponents. A sharp contrast from past years. Maybe this will change come playoff time, but right now, KC and company appear to be very serious about winning championship number 16. I like their chances. Pete Williams, by hook or by crook, we will. Man, this guy was talking about the Boston Celtics on the internet back in 1986 and saying how scary these guys were. Saying how, and think about it, like the Celtics at this point was racing to get number 16. Yeah, 38 years later, now they only have 18. You know what, at that point, they probably would have thought like, I wonder how many championships the Celtics are going to have in 40 years. Yeah, not many. But Boston did end up winning the NBA championship in 1986, beating the Houston Rockets in 6 games. So this guy was right. Yeah, the Celtics are very serious. And, they were the best team in basketball that year. They proved it. They proved him right. This next post is coming from Tom Gross from March the 10th, 1986. And this one is Paris is not superstar. It says Paris is not superstar, but I'm trying to help him out a little bit. This was in 1986. People just started typing. Nobody expected Paris and Mikal to be superstars. Does anybody really think Paris is a superstar? I, for one, am never impressed by him. Finally, somebody else thinks the way I do. I have never been impressed with Paris. Now that we're on this line of thought, okay, I knew this was happening. I made the original post mentioning Paris and Mikal. I knew I shouldn't have used Paris in the same sentence with a predict no matter of superstar. But because I just knew somebody would pick on me that, oh God, I'm so sorry. Look, I really do have other things to do. These things you read are not legal contracts that people have hours and hours to revise you. See, this point is that. Anyway, no, I want to call Paris a superstar. Mikal, yes, I think it's a superstar. What I meant in the context of the original sentence where people expect Mikal and Paris to be decent players, but not be all-stars, okay? Paris is an all-star, right? I mean, he does go to the all-star game, okay? I think at the time the Celtics got him, I expect him to play back up to Combs mostly, or let Combs play power forward. Tom Gross. Okay, so they were basically having the same type of conversations we have now in the world about, is this guy a superstar? Is this guy a superstar? Is he a superstar? How many superstars are currently in the league? And they were having these type of conversations 38 years ago, and that's kind of crazy because we still have these conversations now about basketball players. We're still asking, okay, is Jaylen Brown a superstar? Is Jason Tatum a superstar? Like, so it's kind of crazy that like even almost 40 years ago, people were still having, is this guy a superstar talk? This is another post by Tom Gross. Anyway, sorry, I have some follow-up thoughts to my previous post about green smugness and how boring the NBA is these days. It's occurred to me since then that if you took away Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, the league might actually have that exciting parody of only about 6 years ago. Dog. Almost 40 years ago, this man was talking about how boring the league currently is. First of all, he's most likely dead by now because, yeah, he's most likely dead. But, dog, people are saying that now. People say, oh, the viewership is dropping, the league is so boring. Dog, they were saying that 40 years ago. Time moves on, but people don't change. He goes on to say, I wonder how many people out there agree with this talk. That take away Bird and the only good team is LA, now take away Magic, and all of a sudden you got fascinating matchup. This also raises the standard question, how would today's Celtics match up against yesteryear's Celtics, and so on. I let some current Gannard employees start up the conversation. I don't know what the hell that is. But basically he was saying like, hey, the NBA doesn't have any parity because all we've seen is Magic and Bird going at it, killing each other. Yeah, my guy, you didn't enjoy that back in the 80s? Okay. Come on, man. Like that was fun, right? I thought it would be fun, but I guess even in the 80s, people was complaining about how the NBA didn't have parity. Imagine in the 2010s when it was the Cavs versus Warriors. This guy probably didn't make it there because I think he was able to watch Bill Russell and them play, so he probably didn't make it to the 2010s. But let's move on to closer years. This one came on December 5th, 1997 by Scott. Does anyone else think that if Pippen is traded that the Bulls should send him to the Lakers for Kobe Bryant? Kobe is obviously one of the future star players in the league, so why not take him to the Bulls so they can continue to have success after Michael leaves? Just think of Jordan and Bryant running the backcourt this season. Hawk, Scott, and 97, boy, you was on the sun. You was on the sun. That didn't happen, boys. You was on the sun. They could have done it. That was, hey, Scott, boy, you got the ones for that one. This nigga was hating on Kobe back then. That boy said, Bryant already better than Pillar? No. Bryant has upsides and brings abilities to the game that Pillar doesn't? Maybe. Will Bryant be a good defender? No. Probably not even adequate. Will he play for the point? Will he play the point? No. He doesn't have the NBA skills with ball handling. Will he hit the outside shot? No. He does sound like a role player who would fit in on the bench. Does he sound like a role player who would fit on the bench? Does he? Does he sound like a role player who would fit in on the bench? No. Yeah, this Kobe Bryant guy not gonna be so good. At least that's what they was thinking back in 1997. A year earlier in 1996, on April 1st, oh, what a joke. Who the hell is this Adam Tolan kid? He thinks he knows something about basketball, doesn't he? Kobe Bryant is overrated. I believe he would not even make the NBA, let alone be the star. He has no hops, can't dribble or pass. By the way, I heard from my father, who's the assistant athletic director at UNC, that Bryant is committing to Duke. That did not happen. And on April 23rd, 1985, Tim H. Robinson. Look at Portland. They could have drafted Michael Jordan, but they took Bowie instead. Everyone said that they were making a mistake. No mistake. Portland needs another guard like it needs a hole in the head. Yes, Jordan has had a great rookie season, but Bowie has done well and the Blazers are looking strong for the playoffs. And then some guy by the name of Air Jordan went on to win 6 NBA championships, but yeah. Belgian guy in April 13, 2010 said Nash is overrated and that he did not deserve to win MVP, let alone 2, but I still rate him very highly as a point guard. He shouted defending is why I always rate Williams ahead of him in any point guard discussion though. And it looks like Russell Westbrook shows the worst probable time to go in a sort of slump. If he doesn't contribute, the Lakers will sweep the series even in their current funk. And then Raheem says, well, I'll be going to the Magic Bobcats game Sunday. Should be pretty awesome. I don't think that was pretty awesome. Now, some guy in 2022 on August said, Mobley is KD with defense. Now, I don't know who this guy is. He said Mobley's KD with defense. I don't know if he's telling the truth or not, but he said it. And that was within 5 years. And right now he's proven Mobley may be Kevin Durant with defense.